Hey everyone, this is Realm Jumper here with another fun video trying to make things interesting. But I'm going to name my top 25 video game franchises for PC, desktop PC, laptop PC, whatever you want to call it, for gaming PC. These aren't ranked, but if you want to know my favorites, it's Thief and Deus Ex. Those are my favorite franchises, and Splinter Cell. But the list goes on and on, really. So let's begin with the first game. The first game, Thief the Dark Project / Gold. The first game release was Thief the Dark Project by Looking Glass Studios, and then they updated it with a new release of Thief Gold with more levels, which filled in the story nicely. So what is Thief? Thief was one of the first stealth games, came out in the 90s, and it was like a revolution, really. There wasn't really a lot of games that did this, and the AI was amazing for the time. Still is, by the way. Not a lot of games have great AI these days, but you play as Garrett. Garrett, he's just a little thief in the city. He's a young man, little kid, and he tries to snatch a purse, a coin purse. When he tries to snatch it, somebody catches him, but the person that catches him is surprised because he himself is the keeper. And keepers are known to be very stealthy, secretive organizations. So they recruit him, they train him, and then something happens with that, and then the story begins. So you play as an adult. You play as an adult thief. It's the city basically. It's mission oriented, so you start with the story, and the game teaches you how to play, and then you start mission one, which is to rob a scepter in a mansion. So it's very cool. Does have some conspiracy elements. Excellent voice acting. Top of the line voice acting. Hats off to Looking Glass, one of my favorite developers. And they also made System Shock. Honorable mention System Shock. But I never really played System Shock that much. I do have the games, but I just gotta play them. But Thief, top of the line stealth game. If you wanna go back in the past to what it was like in the 1990s, what technology was available, which is playable on Windows 11 PCs now, or possibly Linux. Not sure if you have Windows or something, but Thief, don't say no to not playing Thief. Yeah, the graphics, they're kind of ugly, but the gameplay, right? The gameplay is where it's at. And it's pretty cool because as you go in the mission, the loot that you get for the previous mission carries over to your next mission. So the better you do in the previous mission, the more money you have to buy equipment at the fence. So it's pretty cool. All right. Deus Ex. Deus Ex Game of the Year. Well, Deus Ex The Conspiracy came out in 2000, and then later the Game of the Year edition came out. So imagine the year 2000, before 9/11, things were different, right? Security was less strict in the world. Well, Deus Ex was made in the year 2000. And certain things happen in the game that reflect the real world. But the game itself, what is the game itself? Well, you play as JC Denton, a UNATCO agent. And it's like in the game, what if every conspiracy in the real world was true? That's basically what it is. But the game is so well designed. It's like, for example, the first mission, you have to rescue this vaccine from terrorists because there's a virus going around the world killing the world's population. And it takes place in the year 2052. But it's basically the developers, they give you the training level and then they just set you loose in the world. So it's like an open world game. And this was back in the 2000s, guys. The year 2000, before these games even existed. I think the only one that very few companies did it, like Bethesda and some other companies like with Ultima and all that, with Origin. But if you want to go back to the past, play the first one, Deus Ex Game of the Year edition, and then you can play Deus Ex Invisible War, and then play Human Revolution, and then play Mankind Divided. But Human Revolution and Mankind Divided do take place in the same universe, same story, not same story, but different story. but it takes place before 2020, 2020s is when 2027 around there. So, uh, Deus Ex franchise, excellent writing, open-ended gameplay, RPG, first-person shooter. You decide how the story ends, and it's fiction, of course, fiction. Okay, next game, Dragon Age Origins, and the Dragon Age franchise. But I really gotta mention Dragon Age Origins because that was old Bioware. It took them like 5 years, probably more than 5 years, to develop. Dragon Age Origins. What can I say? It's like if you went to see your favorite movie, but it's like you don't have it in your memory. You know that feeling that you get? You're like, man, this movie changed my life. Well, Dragon Age Origins, top of the line, role playing, tactical RPG. Uh, the battles are in real time, but you can pause the action, zoom out. The game is very difficult in the beginning, but it gets easier. And the story, the decisions you make matter. Top of the line voice acting. Hats off to Inan Zur, excuse me. Top of the line soundtrack. Um, the actors were amazing. Bioware at its best. Another good game franchise, Warcraft franchise, 2, 3. Orcs and Humans was the start. Then Warcraft 2 really solidified Blizzard as top of the line. Warcraft 2 was just, it's like a chef's kiss, really. Chef's kiss. It's like when you eat your favorite meal. Then Warcraft 3. If you play World of Warcraft, or you have any interest in World of Warcraft, you owe it to yourself to play Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3, because it's what comes before, right? The story that comes before, and it's single player, so you just take your time. You can save. You can save at any point. So if things get rough, you just restart the mission or you save. Real-time strategy when it was at its peak, early 2000s. And Warcraft franchise, must play. I'm excluding the MMO because you already know the MMO is like the gorilla in the room. But Warcraft 3, you have to play it if you have a computer. You have to play it. It's just so darn good. Warcraft 2, also a must play. And that goes hand in hand with StarCraft, right? Me personally, I'm not a big StarCraft fan, but StarCraft did change the industry. And it pushed the envelope. Those are the kind of games we need. We need the envelope to be pushed. StarCraft did that. With the Battle.net system, the online multiplayer, which I'm sure the developers got from Warcraft 2 Battle.net edition, but StarCraft, top of the line RTS. It's like a space opera, RTS style. Top of the line voice acting, cinematics, incredible. Everything was good about that game. It's a 10 out of 10 game, basically. And all these games I'm mentioning, they're pretty close to 9s or 10 out of 10, guys. I would say Thief is 10 out of 10, Deus Ex 10 out of 10, Dragon Age Origins 10 out of 10, Warcraft 3 9 or 10 out of 10. And now that we're talking about Blizzard, Diablo franchise. Diablo 1 and 2, chef's kiss. Diablo 3 was okay. They improved it. And Diablo 4 is a good game. Diablo 4 is a good game. And the expansion is good too. Let's see here. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, going back to BioWare. Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. I never played 2. I played part 1. It's what came before Mass Effect. If you want to see BioWare, what they were doing before, go to Baldur's Gate. Go to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So you can see what games were like back then with the technology that came before. So Star Wars Knights of the Republic / Baldur's Gate, excellent franchises. Now Baldur's Gate 3, that was developed by Larian. That wasn't BioWare. I don't know if they have old BioWare there, but I know Baldur's Gate 3 was incredible. So Baldur's Gate franchise, must play. Doom, of course, id Software. Hey, those guys over in Texas or all over the world. I'm not sure if they have studios all over the world, but wherever they have studios, I know one of the studios is in Texas. id Software, one of the best developers in the world. This Doom franchise, well, you don't have it's a household name, right? I don't have to tell you what Doom is. You already know what it is, and it's just awesome. Pushes the envelope. the kind of games we need. Kind of games we need. Quake franchise really pushed the envelope too with the technology, peer-to-peer multiplayer, the mods that came out, Quake World Team Fortress. Before Team Fortress 2, there was Quake World. No, there was Team Fortress Classic, and before Team Fortress Classic, there was Quake World Team Fortress. So you can look that up on YouTube, Google it. Quake franchise, another franchise that pushed the envelope with Quake 3 Arena, Quake 2, all that good stuff. Splinter Cell, household name. They got books, they got games. There's gonna be a Netflix series. I see Splinter Cell making a comeback. I really hope Ubisoft is able to put it off. Best wishes to them with their new game. Please don't cancel the game. Release it. And Splinter Cell, must play franchise. Stealth franchise, sneaker, just like a third person sneaker. Go on missions, things like that. Save the world, things like that. Bioshock series, household name. You already know what Bioshock is, it just might be mentioned. If you have not heard of Bioshock, basically it's like very philosophical type game, but it's really a first person shooter where you get powers and you go in an underground city and certain things happen. Very great story, top of the line. Bioshock 1, 2, and Infinite. You have to play Bioshock, guys. If you haven't played Bioshock, you owe it to yourself to at least play the first one. It's just that good. Crysis series. Shout out to Crytek, one of the best developers in the world. They really pushed the envelope graphics-wise, technology-wise with Crysis. Drove the industry forward. Drove the industry to develop new technologies, new rendering technologies, all that good stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, well, no, let me not make a mistake there. Far Cry and Crytek are separate. But Crysis, top of the line game, pushed the envelope. Interestingly enough, I read an article where the developer said a lot of people pirated Crysis. It should have sold more. That's one problem that the PC industry has, the piracy problem, right? But I'm not gonna get into that. Me personally, I buy my games, and I don't buy them for price. I wait for discounts. So unless it's like a game that I love, I'll get it full price. And then I got console games. Anyway, back on topic. Crysis franchise, top of the line, acting, cinematics, storyline, level design, huge levels. Go wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do. Save the world, FPS shooter. All right. The Witcher franchise, household name, CD Projekt Red. It goes hand in hand with Cyberpunk 2077. Those two top of the line franchises, Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher, you owe it to yourself to play them. If you don't know what game to get, you should probably get either Cyberpunk, or if you're not really into that sci-fi RPG, get The Witcher 3. Start with The Witcher 3, that's the best one. Or just get The Witcher 1. Witcher 1's fine. Now, another excellent franchise, going back old school, shout out to Westwood Studios, Command and Conquer series, which is now EA, right? EA by Westwood. Command and Conquer, one of the first ever real-time strategy games. I think really what made it special is that it also came out for Macintosh, you know, and excellent RTS. I think the remastered edition on Steam or GOG comes with Red Alert and the expansions, so you get like a couple games extra. And they upgraded the graphics, fixed up bugs, things like that. Hopefully they do the same for Tiberian Sun. Give us Tiberian Sun Remastered, EA, please. Okay. Halo series, household name. Now, technically this is a console game, but it does come out for PC. But what Halo did for the industry is just, it pushed the envelope forward. And the reason I mention Halo, even though it's a console game, mostly when it came out, is because they did make Halo Combat Evolved for PC. But I just cannot mention Halo. You already know Halo. I guess this is like my little ace up my sleeve, the Halo franchise. Household name, Master Chief. Excellent game. Remember the good times with Bungie and Microsoft. And I guess I could mention at this time Destiny. Destiny 1 and 2. Excellent games. But I haven't really played them that much, so I just mentioned Destiny as an honorable mention, but it comes from Bungie, so you know it's good. Dishonored, hey, one of the best franchises. We got Deus Ex developers. We got all kinds of great stuff here. Harvey Smith, Arcane Austin, which we lost, but we still got Arcane Lion. And, you know, a lot of layoffs in the industry. But Dishonored, one of the best franchises ever made. You owe it to yourself to at least play Dishonored 1. It's just high quality. Level design, acting, animations, storyline. It's like Thief. It's like a modern day Thief, basically. All right, and then Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9. You know, Final Fantasy games. You pick whichever one you like. My favorite is 7. I guess I could mention the remaster here, which is good too, which I need to finish. But the original Final Fantasy 7 for PC was special, and you know, of course, PlayStation. I cannot not mention Final Fantasy. And yeah, I could mention Zelda, but I'm not going to. Maybe because Zelda's not a PC game, so I'm not mentioning Zelda. Gears of War series. Most of the games come for console, but 5 they come out for PC. 4 came out for PC. Gears of War Remastered and Gears of War 1 came out for PC. Top of the line games. Epic Games. Great voice acting, animations, multiplayer. Pushing the envelope. When Gears of War came out on the 360, it was just incredible. Hats off to Epic Games, Cliff Bleszinski, all those good people. Even though Cliff is no longer with Epic Games, but at that time, it was just special. It was like the perfect storm of developers. We had Halo, we had our Golden Knights, we had our Gears of War, our Mass Effect, the Golden Age. Next developer slash franchise I want to mention is IO Interactive Hitman series. The first Hitman, Conan 47, really pushed the envelope in terms of what AI could do. Now, this was before machine learning and all that. Probably only the government had machine learning back then, but now that machine learning and all that is happening now, what could games do back in the early 2000s? Look at Hitman, Conan 47, and the other Hitman games, which the way that AI works, very, what do you call that, emergent gameplay, which you find in Deus Ex and Thief, Hitman, things like that. Situations happen, it changes the outcome. So Hitman series, excellent franchise. Mass Effect, of course. I gotta mention Mass Effect. It's basically a space opera. If you've never played Mass Effect, get the Legendary Edition. It comes with all the DLCs for the first 3 games, except for Pinnacle Station for the first one because they lost the code. But anyway, Mass Effect, basically, you play as a super soldier in the future. And I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but it's just awesome space opera. And it's like a third person Dragon Age in space, basically. Alright. Half-Life series. Household name. In case you don't know, you weren't born. I think it was 1999, around there, early 2000s. Half-Life came out. It revolutionized the industry, pushed the envelope of what scripting sequences could do. And then Half-Life 2 was just incredible. The way Valve pushed the industry forward with Half-Life 2, Havoc Physics, and which they partner with, and level design, storytelling, facial animations, all that good stuff. We want Half-Life 3, right? We want Half-Life 3. All right. Need for Speed series, household name. I don't need to mention it to you. You know what it is. Racing cars, underground racing, running away from the police in the game, Most Wanted, Hot Pursuit. Really, with Hot Pursuit, they pushed the envelope with what AI could do. It's just top of the line franchise, Need for Speed, and that goes hand in hand with Forza and Gran Turismo, but those are like console games, although Forza is PC and Gran Turismo is console, so I won't honorable mention Gran Turismo. Resident Evil, yeah, it's a PlayStation type game that came out, but it did come out for PC, and a lot of the games are PC now, so let's keep supporting Capcom. I think they're making the new one. We're up to like Resident Evil 9 now or something like that, or 8 or 9. Resident Evil is just awesome. And of course, all these games have a history. So you can look this up on YouTube or just Google it. Where did the developers get the ideas from for these games? XCOM, I'm sure you've heard of it. Tactical strategy game where you fight aliens. Excellent franchise. Hats off to Firaxis and the previous XCOM developers as well. And of course, last but not least, I want to mention Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six, first-person tactical strategy game. The first one's very interesting because the first one you could plan your missions. The first couple games you could plan your missions before you go in and rescue the hostages or disarm the bomb, whatever the mission was. And Rainbow Six really pushed the industry forward in terms of technology, what could be done. What these games did is what other games failed to do, or just really didn't do, or just nobody did before. Or these games just did it better. If you haven't played one of these franchises and you're able to get at least one of these games for one of these franchises, you will not be disappointed. These are one of the best games made for the computer all time, guys. All time. So I highly recommend it. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what some of your franchises are. Obviously, I can't mention them all. Let me think about some honorable mentions. Let me see here. Assassin's Creed, of course. Metal Gear Solid. Things like that. And Far Cry, of course, a big one, Far Cry. Sound off in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.